Well,
triple
what's
on
that?
stage 2.
Okay, we got it. You called it. Good job,
But
Kenobi.
you cursed the wrong thing. We didn't want gold augments. Kenobi, what's up?
I'm doing my best. Sorry, the ways of the Force are tricky.
Ooh, scoreboard scrapper maybe for. I don't know, but there was like a Zinzao pair.
Pretty sure he didn't pick up his in pair.
Oh, yeah, he did. He did
Yeah.
sell at the last second there. Knuckle dusters, but does he have a single vi? Oh my god! Scoreboard scrapper into Zinzao 2. Hello.
Tell.
We are actually seeing a lot of very interesting augment choices out of this gold selection. We have Double Trouble in here. We have Twilight Assault being picked up by Moritz Ging, picking up Heavy as the Crown as early as this. Maybe players are getting ready for the chaos that is 3 augments stage 2.
Okay, Kenobi, what are the craziest augment pairings we can expect from triple augment on stage 2, given we already see Double Trouble and Shen?
Well, for every player that has picked an Econ augment, getting another, like, if we get a Prismatic Econ and they double deep starting from stage 2, the level 9s are going to be coming in so quickly that all the players playing on the back foot, like the Scoreboard Scrapper, will be in huge trouble. But there are so many combinations of augments that scale off of each other, and if you get them early enough, it's completely crazy. Like, you could get your Bastion emblem here for Moritz, or maybe Heavy is the Crown would be absolutely crazy for him as well.
I could see it. I'd be down for that. I'm a little bit worried with Heavy as the Crown. Alan, we were talking about this earlier already when I believe it was Clamu who picked it up in one of the previous games. With Katarina, I mean, yeah, we're out of the Akali, but with Katarina being something players like to pick up in the current meta, I'm always stressed out when I see Heavy as the Crown in these lobbies.
I mean, Shen is pretty potent. He's resilient with the Bastion, and if you provide him some sustain, he can take Katarina down by himself. I have faith.
The thing is, if Katarina killed the Shen, the round's pretty much over anyway.
Yeah.
We're just saving like
Fair.
10 to 15 seconds for the time it takes to clean up.
All right.
Ooh, that's pretty good. Silvers for the component buffet for the Shen, that's probably one of the best outcomes you could hope for. But not getting a rod, just getting an extra bow. Probably got a double Rage Blade angle with like some QSS. Or the GS Rage Blade QSS, I would assume.
Yes. Silver Destiny picked up on Ging, so going for a little bit of RNG there. Trying to squeeze out a few extra resources as well.
Double Finding Patience is
right?
good too.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh?
So Crown, here we are. So Ging picked up that Heavy as the Crown basically instantly. I think on the back of having that 2-star Callista, I believe he had that really early on. And so he's just trying to really scale into, early power.
And we're getting into a very interesting situation here for Ging, because if there was not somebody playing Shen reroll, I'm pretty sure Chaotic Mutation, Heavies, the Crown, Ginzus with Bastions and Zaya would be completely disgusting. Because Chaotic Evolution, for people who don't know, because it's a pretty rare augment to see, every time you star up a unit, it gets some extra stats, and when you 3-star a unit, it gets a total of 4 extra stats, and that is semi-tailored, just like over 9,000, so it can amount to something like 40 AD on someone like Zaya, or a ton of HP for tanks or resistances as well, so it's very powerful. But with the Shen being there, is he able to do that, or will he have to improvise and just use it as a way to power his 2-star?
What about Jace Caitlyn? And you just reforge Rage Blade later.
We haven't seen that in a while.
He already picked up a Jace, and like, oh,
there it is.
Nice. Good job, Twitch chat. I'm proud of you. And good job, Alan.
Oh, hold up. Hard commit is kinda interesting, but I don't think he'll go for it. Oh, Caretaker Chosen with so little downside, getting it at as late as 2-5, pretty much mitigated downside within like 3 runs. That's definitely interesting.
So if you are on chaotic
Oh!
mutation, right?
Oh my god! It does.
Come on.
Oh, it would have worked. Doesn't work.
Didn't pick it. Aw, gang.
Build a bot.
Okay, he's just gonna use as eco. You're gonna the Golden Destiny and just ignore the chaotic
my god.
evolution. Oh,
Putting Destiny into buried treasure is nasty.
wow. With the
This
oh
lobby
my
is full of
with the
surprises.
wow. With
Yep.
the double trouble, getting a double econ, one of them silver, was second one being Destiny into the items. If double doesn't top forward, okay, he could just miss roll down, to be fair. Can you even miss roll down with
Yeah,
patience
that's-
and Gold Destiny?
It's gonna be super hard to miss this roll down. He's gonna be much richer than the previous iterations we've seen of this board, but we'll have to see. He's gonna take his time, slowly scale up with the extra components, and it's all gonna be spent by the time he gets to 3-5 when he wants to scale up. So things lined up perfectly for Double 61 to have a crazy good game.
All right, let's
With-
just take a pause real quick because of course there's a lot that just happened in this lobby, and I think we need to sort through it with all of these augments that have just appeared for all of our players. Let's just go one by one. We're gonna take a look at Bensek here, who's currently playing once again around the Crystal Gambit, something that we've seen a lot of throughout this game, but he is definitely just trying to go into the potential of leveling up and then being able to find that Ash maybe earlier than everybody else, although Rageblade Ash?
So I want to touch, yeah, that's one thing, but I want to touch on the decop spot who has scoreboard into level up, which on paper looks very good. But we already seen what's happening today if you don't have combat arguments or item arguments. Even if he hits level 9, even if he 2-stars literally all his board that he can put in the planner, if he has only like 2 set of items, it's very likely it's gonna not be able to outcap the other boards because we have some crazy stuff. We see component buffet with Lucky TG. We have Pandora box with Lucky TG. We have insane double trouble setup.
Yeah, you're definitely right. It's going to be down to the wire for Decop to stabilize, but if he manages to stay alive just for long enough for his scoreboard scrapper to bring his entire team up to unbreakable levels of damage, it might be enough, but it's definitely going to be an uphill battle. Also, I want to point out, you're going to see him do something that looks kind of strange, which is he's going to bench and replace his units on the board every round. That's because scoreboard scrapper has a little bit of an issue of having 1 round delay, and you're missing 1 round of stats after every player comeback, and you have to do that manipulation to get all the benefits, which he's going to try
It's fine,
and
you
do.
have to be aware of all the techs, as we call it. It's fine.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good tip for anybody who's watching who is maybe not familiar with it, as long as this set continues, or of course hoping now that will eventually be fixed. But our observer's pointing something out, which I think we can definitely call to, because we're getting 2 players on the top with a 5-win streak and 2 players on the bottom with a 5-loss streak. They haven't met yet. We're on 3-1. That is a lot of resources that are now being injected into the lobby on top of the already crazy augments that we have going for us.
Look at double items. Kenobi, could you get a more hand-picked items?
Well, I'm a huge fan of the Nashor's Tooth, but no, this is pretty incredible, and this is going to lead to such incredible build-up for the 161, but he interrupts the Ging's win streak with the double Janna here, which is crucial in slowing down some of the players at the top of this lobby. We mentioned how important it is for them to get stopped in their tracks if you don't want them to get away with the game and just rush 9 and completely crush you.
I want to touch upon the Zyko spot. We haven't seen him quite yet. He picked up expected the unexpectedness. I like to call it expected bottoming, because we see econ into econ, and if your dices are not particularly too crazy, it can be another econ. And triple econ in this lobby, I like the idea of going Crystal Gambit because it can reduce you with the items, and that's exactly what you might need. Maybe even some Forkos Freestar.
Yeah, crucially for Moritz, he's 3-1 cash out from the dice, where double duplicator, which is exactly what he wants with his Shiny roll.
Yeah, definitely something we'll need to keep in mind for Moritz. Of course, it's also a question of how he's going to progress on his Shens, whereas Zico can just kind of chill. So two of these
He's
players
level
are really looking-
746.
Yeah, two of these players really looking for different outs, despite having that expected unexpectedness coming in here for both of them.
He just doubled down without changing his board while on 2-win streak.
He's chilling.
I think he's faced the players that will also be doubling down. We've seen just before he was facing off against another Crystal Gambit, so he might just be fine and facing off only players that are playing the strongest board, which is honestly a lot of players in this lobby with all the lucky gloves that we're getting and all the overall power that has been displayed with the triple Logman stage 2.
Checking in with Dalasum here is currently on a little bit of a Prodigy Star Guardian moment. Like we mentioned earlier, does have that Pandora's into TG, so a lot of potential to just farm infinite items. Already 2 TGs on the board for him here. We saw in the previous round he was a little bit greedy towards the end of that game, so I'm kind of hoping that it pays out for him this time around, but we're going to be seeing him take a win against Decop, at least for now, as we move into the carousel and get a nice little overview at how our lobby is standing right now.
We're really worried for Decop. Like, the lobby will be pretty much pushing the level 7, level 8, even as soon as 3-5. So that's another like extra 1 or even 2 points of damage every round. And it will be disabling him from clearing extra units, saving some HP. So he might end up at like even at 1 HP at 4-1 if it goes south.
Yeah, and finding units like the Braum as early as he could to help him, give him an extra life is going to be so key in order for him to survive long enough to reach the point where the scoreboard scrapper just carries him through the rest of the game. But yeah, you're right to mention that the accelerated tempo of the lobby is going to cost him 1 or 2 HP here and there, and that's going to add up tremendously, putting a lot of pressure on him to stabilize earlier. Oh,
circling back to the Ashe, Kenobi, do you think like triple Kraken would be ideal set of the items for Ashe if you want to make it as successful as you can?
I think triple Kraken has to be wrong in the way that you're probably better off with one multiplicative item like a Giant Slayer or maybe an Infinity Edge to add some of that extra multiplier, because she gets a ton of raw stats from the Krakens, but TFT is a multiplication game, not an addition game overall.
Oh, that was very beautifully said. I like that, Kenobi. But in the meantime, we did see Double actually rolling quite a bit to try and round out this double trouble board. Is on 2 Smolders, 2 Malzahar, so Malzahar 2, Smolder 2, as well as an additional copy both on the cannon and the Smolder for now. So starting to take shape here, but digged pretty deep for it.
I love his use of the Smolder for now and not switching it to the Rammus too early to have some extra damage and be able to save some rounds here. He's very healthy with 72, despite waiting basically for the entire early game before doing anything. So huge props to him for finding this way to maximize his board potential without ripping his economy there.
Exactly what I wanted to also mention, and also he was sitting on TF. If he finds like another TF potentially from the carousel, this could be crazy. He already has a free set item for the Malza and sitting on another offensive component. So double trouble TF potentially?
Yeah, I mean, that would be crazy if you're able to put it together. Definitely a lot of potential just coming from that TF, as well as the Smolder. I think that's really cool to see. But Smolder is popular right now across our boards. We're seeing a Smolder 2 for Dykeup currently holding items. Same story on the other side for Bensec, as players are posturing to try and roll down and maybe find that Ashe for them in the next couple of stages. I quickly want to shout out our players that are not on Ashe, so maybe let's take a look at Ging, because we were talking about this board early on with the potential that he has and the fact that he's unable to go in specific directions, so pretty cool to see him now find his footing.
Indeed, pretty cool. Here the Radiant item is picked up by Bensac, already having rolled a little bit to try and find the crucial Ashe, picks up a Radiant GS, so not going to try and just spam Kraken Slayer as it's been touted. Being aware of what the numbers mean, Mason. Sorry, that was an old reference. But can he find a single Ashe? Because so far he's down pretty low on gold, has to pick up a Jinx. No Ashe yet. The Lee Sin's ignored completely. A second one there.
Wow.
Hey, wait. Oh no, he's just playing Jinx. I'm sorry.
Well, the Battle of Ashe has been decided because Zico just found an Ashe 2 first player to do so in this lobby. That signals bad news to everyone else in this lobby that was looking for it. As we hop on over to Moritz, I think for just a second we saw at least a second Shen 2 over there. We're going to be taking a look at Dalasom. Now battling for that win streak here, 62 gold, very, very healthy.
That's a very furious Ahri right there. Maybe we'll see some BT slam on top of those Krakens. Meanwhile, on the other side, there is Double sitting around that Malzahar board ready, pretty much going through like a butter of the Dale board.
Yeah, and Malzahar is looking very stable, and Double having picked up a TF on 3-5 means he has the potential to get to some of these pretty crazy rewards from TF on the back end of that stage 4. Once he reaches the 5+ caches, he could get some extra components, just a ton of gold or extra rerolls that he didn't need, but he's gonna be welcoming gladly. And in the meantime, Ging has reached level 9 and is rolling down, but it's so far looking like a lot of unupgraded units.
Yeah, so we are stage 4-2, I think is the good news here to already have those legendaries. Bad news is everybody else is incredibly rich and there's prismatic augments in this game, so this isn't actually as good as it might look on a first glance. Moritz now also hitting that Shen 3 that we're seeing on the top there, as well as the Sin Sao. Other boards are starting to cap out, and with Ging unable to convert those legendaries into 2 stars at least, that could be tragedy very soon. Needs to hope the next couple of rolls are giving him something here, but this is going to be another loss.
Dykop got so low that he was forced to roll down on level 8 on the level up, which is pretty much the one thing you want to avoid doing. However, we see Volibear being pretty much contested, but hitting that Samira is pretty good. However, I'm curious if he'll opt to Nico the Brown here, or with C greeted for Volibear, or third option, maybe 3 stars. Oh, never mind. That I guess solves.
Yeah, it goes for the Braum, and what's so impactful about it is that once Braum is 2-starred, every win will earn you 2 poros instead of 1, which is 2 extra HP. That's going to be so key for him to survive long enough for the Scoreboard Scrapper to do its job. In the meantime, Zico looks like he got a 3-star Odier on his way there to the 5 crystal. It's going to be an incredible boost for his frontline, which is usually a little bit hard to stabilize, especially without a 2-star K'Sante. And he's going up against Ging, who is level 9, which is actually great news for Zico. That means 1 more unit to cash Crystal Gambit on, which is fantastic for him.
Absolutely is. Twisted Fate 2 on Ging, though, a good pickup, like we're talking about, was looking for these. Still needs more, though. Frontline is still looking pretty scarce, still needs more upgrades, and this carousel could just deliver one of them, as there's the Lee Sin, but Ging unable to be picking that up. Instead, Teacup is going to take that one for himself.
I'm afraid that even if Ging hits, like we already see TF2, if he even gets to Lee 2, like Brown 2 is on the rough side to hit, given how contested it is already and how many copies are taken out. I don't think it will stabilize him. Again, it's a heavy is the crown, sure, but like playing down silver is not a big deal. And then level up. The problem is this fast 9 board we've seen throughout the day. It doesn't cap as high as other like 4-cost boards or reroll boards.
For sure, and talking about capping potentially pretty high, Moritz has hit the 3-star Xin Zhao, the 3-star Shen. He's looking pretty solid here with the Tankzilla. The items are fantastic. He's also picked up a Twisted Fate here and will be getting some of these rewards, as well as the extra attack speed for the Shen, which is always welcome, making his way to the 6th Bastion, and maybe, if he gets far enough, can cap out with the 2-star Seraphine like we've seen in the previous game with the Yasuo 3.
we're getting a little bit of an update on our double trouble on the opposite side for the man, myth, and legend himself, Double. And he is still missing a lot of these upgrades. Getting closer to the Malzahar, needs 3 copies of that. And then pretty far away from that Rammus. I believe he was closer earlier, so I'm not sure if maybe we sold 1 copy. Because we definitely had Smolder as a pair. It might have just been Smolder 1 pair. So still ways to go for Double to try and cap out that double trouble board. We're going to take a look at the bottom of our leaderboard because despite this Udyr 3, Zico has lost that previous round.
Just quickly, Double has 2 Rammus 2 on board, so he's not moved
All
backward
right,
there.
okay,
He's
very good.
doing just fine with plenty of
One was
econ in the
hiding
tank.
then. He's a sneaky little fella.
So Dicop still is scaling on the scoreboard Scrapper. Will he be looking to jump into the top 4, perhaps on the stage 5 to get the tech HP boost, but still missing on the Volibears? So the thing is, do you even want to roll on this board? Like, you're not rolling for really Lee 2, you're not rolling for Volibear contested, you have Braum 2, you have Samira, you really need to push levels. But like, he's losing, so...
These Samira items are not what he wanted initially, obviously, so he's had to make do. And the Braum is pretty strong and 2-star, 3 items, but he's lacking with someone, an actual tank to protect him. We've seen here, despite the fall Luchador, he got bursted down rather quickly by the Ashe, and it's pretty rough as long as you don't have something like the 2-star set to go next to him.
How many Gs would you like to have?
Yes.
Well, all of them. That's what Pandora's is for. Obviously.
Yeah.
Although I do want to make a call out here because something a lot of players mistake when they take up golden TGs, their main carry, so the Jinx, not going to be getting that TG despite it being tailored items. You still want to have like the perfect items on her if you have the chance to do so, and Pandora's for sure enables that. So that's exactly why you're not seeing a Thieves' Gloves being slammed on the Jinx and instead a full triple item tailoring for that main carry. Often we see it on both the main tank and the main carry, but I think with an abundance of these gloves like we're seeing on Dalasan, we can maybe neglect having perfect items on the main tank.
Rough situation for him missing out on that Jinx too. The only unit he was rolling for, honestly, maybe that Braum as well, but not getting her is going to be rough. He's lost all 5 previous rounds, so definitely needs something to go right for him, and goes up against Decob, who's fixing his items a little bit and might be close-ish to level 9, but not there yet. So it's a very important round for both of them because they're
What is the
losing
Samira
around.
cast?
Oh,
That
What? She just steamrolled on the back lane, but will it matter? It might.
it might. Braum is still alive.
might.
Oh, the Braum is shit. Oh, the beast. Oh, the Braum kinda saved, but like that Samira cast spooked me out.
It's definitely something that Samira was maybe all tabbed out or something. I don't know. Can we get a check on the Samira? What she was up to.
Her inner ear is not working quite right. She's having some problems balancing herself.
Check
The
her
ball is
PC.
coming in, level 9 now for Decob, so he's getting closer. He's just in 6th position right now. If Moritz loses a round and Travis as well, Decob might be getting to that top 4, and once he's there, who can stop him really?
Yeah, also put swap a bit items, I like it. And now the carousel will be a big spy. Getting the 3rd item was gonna say on Volibear, but now on Samira. Ideally, IE here would be so big. Look at the damage output.
Yeah, damage definitely is there. The TF is trying to ramp up, and it's looking like it's going to be quite close. Gonna go come down to the wire. The
Ay,
Braum
ay, ay.
is winning, but not enough.
I mean, the crown scaling.
Definitely does a lot. Of course, it is a legendary 2-star. In the meantime, we have to mention that Dalasum unfortunately did get eliminated. All the Thieves' Gloves in the world, not enough if you can't find that Jinx too. So very unfortunate there for him. not being able to translate that into power. And now we're seeing a player that was dominating all day today in a rough spot with only a little bit of HP left.
Yeah, despite plenty of Thieves' Gloves, which is very beneficial in this competition, Travis Cat repping the cat herself, Yui, is being there. It looks like it's not quite enough, and that the lobby has gone a little bit further ahead, and he's still stuck on level 8, not able to add the Seraphine to the board to have that crucial killing from the Prodigies.
You can see that the pattern there. The double TG players are rocking 7 and 8 so far, but being able to take down Bensak was the second Jinx player on with that Radiant itemization, just good enough. Pretty good rolls on the TGs, secured him the win there on the back of full upgraded Prodigy board. Just missing out that level 9 with the Seraphine final cap.
We do have Decop being eliminated, though. We were very excited for this board to maybe reach its full potential, but that's not going to be the case this round, as he has taken a 7th place. Zico picking up a strategist emblem here, very interesting, as he is one of the players that are next in line for elimination, so trying to build out that Crystal Gambit board. Had found that Ashe 2 so early, but still needs to translate it into power, as we found ourselves in a very stacked lobby.
Yeah, definitely. The only person who's sitting pretty here at the top is the Double Trouble man himself. Double 61 with the Double Trouble has hit everything and is just crushing everybody right now. The only player who's truly stable and win streaking, while we're getting a
quick emotion check on the players. If everyone are stable, everyone are fine, okay, we can go back to the game.
No, that was an attention check, you see. It was just making sure that chat is actually watching. But here's Travis going up against Ging. Ging with that heavy as a crown TF2 we saw so many games off. And honestly, coming into this day, I kind of expected there to be a little bit more Yuumi throughout the board. So I was excited.
One more cast from Yuumi?
Travis, can she?
Will she get there? There is a cast?
Yes.
Not enough.
Not enough. Takes her down into a 6th place.
And Maurice, despite having hit pretty decently, is on the 6th Bastion, has been repping the TF for a long time, is slowly scaling down with that Shen augment, not able to compete with the rest of the board. Zico and Double 61 are way too far ahead, and Maurice has lost 3 out of the last 4 rounds, which is sort of usual for Shen. It scales down quite a bit, but that's a little bit early, and maybe that's because of all the power from the triple early augment has ended up scaling. Zico's board is monstrous right now.
Yeah, that, and when you put it next to the double board, when you have Ging who hit everything on 9, like, Shen is good, but like not that level of good.
Maybe good enough to do something here against Double's board. He's definitely trying, but that Ramos just stands so strong. Bensak on the left-hand side avoids elimination, beats Zyko, but Moritz, tough day for him. Takes another loss, closer than in previous rounds with that 5th place, but I'm not sure it's going to be enough to turn it around unless he maybe gets a 1st place in that last game. He finds himself in a tough spot.
I'd love to see here Seraphine final board cup for the Zyko.
What's crazy about Zyko is that I mentioned how monstrous his board is. Everything's upgraded. The OD is 3-star, where we've got an extra strategist emblem, and he lost to Jinx. Granted, it's a pretty solid Jinx setup, but I think at some point you have to realize that Zyko has been farming rewards for a long time now. He should be Giga Capital if he's getting to level 10.
I was going to say, he's still greeting it out a little bit here.
Because he's out of things to upgrade on level 9. And it's still a little bit scary to consider that the fact that Jinx is able to beat out these bots, and maybe the players tomorrow will realize how good the unit is and the setup is in order to be able to beat out these potential fast 9 bots and cap in a much more reliable way as well, because you're stable on 8 with Jinx.
I mean, at some point you
Another
maybe
orb.
have to stop greeding the Crystal Gambit cash outs, just drop to 3 crystals and reach a bit higher breakpoint, because for the pretty much what we've seen so far is just players fail to cap the board while maintaining 5 crystal late game.
Well, gentlemen, we're seeing a potential side-by-side elimination depending on how it goes on the right-hand side. Seiko trying to take down the double, trouble, quadruple, double, however we're going to call it, but is not enough, is eliminated by the former global champion. Left-hand side, Ging and Bensek now find themselves on nearly equal HP, and it's going to come down to the wire, but it might just look like Double's going to eliminate them both.
And once again, the Fast 9 and Crystal falling just short of getting better than 3 and 4. The trend is still there.
I mean, to be fair, we mentioned on stage 2 how Double's insane spot was.
Fair.
And like, there was no doubt that this is the top 2 spot. I would argue he's winning out. And like rest of the lobby, unless something really monstrous would happen, he's winning out the lobby.
Well, he's facing off both opponents at the same time, so it might just be the final round as well. As you mentioned, mates take us through what's going to happen.
Just a quick double
Very
double
likely.
barrel.
Well, honestly, what a more fitting way to finish this game, but it might not
Oh,
happen.
yeah.
The Ram is on the right-hand
Nope.
side. Okay.
Wait,
it will.
wait, nope.
Listen,
The dot
listen,
broke.
I'm trying to maybe
Wait,
turn it around.
and-
He's out.
Oh,
And
oh.
so is Bensek. And Double, with a double elimination and double trouble, takes this lobby. Was in a position that wasn't actually as great for him either, found himself in the lower half of the standings, so taking a first place here in true Double fashion is just something I think all the fans are going to be really, really excited to see. So very, very awesome. We're of course still celebrating Halloween over here, so welcome if you just tuned in, and I am very curious to hear what our casters have to say about this game. So tell me more about the double trouble double.
Double bubble, hoil and trouble, all those spells we're casting upon ourselves as we head towards the tail end of day 1 Impetuous Panda. We've almost got all the information our players could possibly ask for heading into the end of day, where of course, as we've been saying again and again, but it's worth restating, our bottom 8 players will be eliminated. They'll have no further chances. They will not get to go to day 2 at all.
Yeah, it's time to really show up. It's time for the players that need to clutch up and try and fight for their entire set. Really, it all comes down to this last game in terms of fighting for your ambitions of playing for attack round spot, making it to final lobby, maybe winning your first ever EMEA finals as well. But this is a really interesting lobby. I think every single time you get this Jinx encounter where you get all 3 augments in stage 2, all your game plans are thrown right out the window, Counter.
Absolutely. I mean, we got a nice mix here. We're starting off with gold, going to silver, then prismatics. But as was noted during the game, we were seeing a lot of players trying to skew themselves towards the later game to double level up. But ultimately, David, we're seeing from our top 2 there, the item augments were doing very well. We don't look at the lucky gloves perhaps, but certainly, the buried treasures, the caretakers working extremely well.
It was also really interesting to see, I think, the meta cement itself in this game for something like Double Trouble, Nico Malzahar, or Malzahar Rammus in this case. We are seeing it truly become a powerhouse of the meta. I think before today, most people were not aware how strong this comp was. I had heard some whispers, and now I think we have confirmation, especially from this position, right? We talked about missing Econ being the problem. I think the both time we saw it today with Lides, with Travis, it was a very scary position where on 3-5, huge roll downs, and you just didn't have the gold to hit your 3 stars on time, at least for Lides. With Patience is a Virtue from Double, I think most of those problems were solved.
Yes, this sort of reminds me very much of the Malzahar heavyweight kind of boards, where you just having that, even just a silver would help you get online that much quicker, makes a huge difference. But I kind of want to open up a bigger question here as we look back through the game. Travis, he's been doing spectacularly across the day, so we know that he's got a very good read on what's going on. But the Prodigy board just did not work there, ending up with a 6th place overall. Is that reflective of Prodigy as a whole, do you think, or was it just this lobby?
I think it was more of a Prismatic Destiny. There were maybe very few bad hits for Travis in that position, but when you are not planning for Lucky Gloves and you pick up Lucky Gloves, it's usually not a very good augment. Most of the time, you have to do a Lucky Gloves check. Do I have a glove? Can I play for more gloves? Do I have Pandora like Dalisum did? If so, it's a good augment. If not, it's terrible. It's very binary in that sense. So I think Travis was punished a bit by the randomness of that Prismatic Destiny.
And of course, it's worth noting because I think we sort of take it for given here in the EMEA scene that everybody knows Double 61 and just how ludicrously good he is a player. But there's going to be plenty of people who don't know who are coming into this one late. Maybe you've never even heard of him before. He's the only EMEA global champion, the only two-time regional champion, and he did a big chunk of that when he was 16. So for him to still be developing as a player and showing us exactly what he's capable of is amazing to see.
I think a lot of his success on this Double Trouble line is playing it from a position where you're getting value from the augment stage 2-3. I think for both Travis and the Depths, we saw them loose streaking and coming into the roll downs very low on already, whereas Double was trying to make usage of that cannon, for example, to try and find value from the augment leading up to those bigger roll downs, leading up to that transition, which is something that Double does so well. He's so fluid and creative in his play and really understands how to stay relevant and strong in lobby tempo throughout the entirety of the game, no matter what his strategy is.
Congratulations to our two French players, Double and Bensak, with a spectacularly done job there. But David, I want to bring the focus actually to Ging, who we mentioned a little bit at the opening of the show, just because he's a player with such a ludicrous amount of history behind him. Really a player who defined Turkish TFT in the early days of the competitive scene, now coming back and making an impact again.
First player on the US to hit 2K LP, I mentioned it earlier. The show, just a player that everyone respected so much in the first few sets of TFT, then fell a little bit short from set 10 onwards. In the modern era, he hasn't really popped up as much. He hasn't had the results he was hoping for, doubted himself a lot as a competitor, but I think this is the set he needed to really find confidence in his play and maybe rise up to that same standard. Really, the entire top 4 for this game was actually a blast of the past. Double, Ging, and Zyko being in the top 4 in set 15 in a game 5 like this one on week 2 of regionals is a great thing to see, as well as Bensak sliding in as a player who I think is one of the most improved players right now across the last 2 sets.
Well, speaking of improvements, the proof is, of course, in the pudding. And let's go chow down on our standings coming in to the last round of play. Remember again, any player who maintains their position in the bottom 8 will be eliminated here in day 1.
You have to imagine the cutoff will be around 23, 24 points, I have to believe. So, I mean, there's still a lot of ground to be covered here from our players. It's going to get really, really dicey for everyone on this page, actually. Even if Reiko goes 8th here, he could be in big trouble. For players like Horo X, like Moritz, like Pablo, I think they might be a little bit too far away from where that cutoff might be. Just not really the day they were expecting, I think, coming into this week. Especially for Horo, who seemed to bounce back in game 4 and now has fallen flat yet again with an unfortunate 8th place in game 5.
I do take your larger point that there is a lot of, there's only very little ground between at least the top members of the bottom 8 and the players just above them. So, as I said, it's a great place to be for that final game. We don't know exactly who's going forward today, but from players who are battling bad news to players who are enjoying the glory, we've got Opal currently ruling the roost, but Wet Jungler as well, one of only a very few two German players total left in the competition, with 3 back-to-back first places after game 3, 4, and 5.
I love to see it. Wet Jungler is taking it personal this set. It looks like he is maybe going to be the player to rise the most from tier 2, maybe to Tacron. I would not be surprised in the slightest, maybe even to Tacron final lobby. I would also not be surprised considering it's the player who's been runner-up before in the international stage back in set 9 Runeterra Reforged. He still got it. He had maybe one small slip-up in the most important set of all, which was set 14, in terms of how important it was for being in the pro circuit this set. And he's not going to make that mistake again. He is back, and I think to stay.
Yeah, so I think runner-up sort of diminishes it a little bit. He was number 2 on the entire planet, because coming out of nowhere, particularly it wasn't like he was a player people would necessarily look at and say, this is going to be the EMEA player who brings it back. But let's jump back in. We'll be seeing Wet Jungler going face-to-face in this last game of week 2, day 1.